Imagine waking up one day to find your entire world has shifted beneath your feet. The familiar rhythm of your life suddenly feels offbeat, like a song played in the wrong key. That's exactly what happened to me on a crisp autumn morning when I realized I had been living my life on autopilot, letting opportunities slip through my fingers like sand. Have you ever felt that nagging sensation that you're meant for something more, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is? That's where I found myself, stuck in a loop of indecision and fear, watching life pass me by through the window of my comfort zone. But here's the thing about comfort zones. They're not really all that comfortable. They're more like prisons we build for ourselves, brick by brick, with our own doubts and insecurities. And I was tired of being my own jailer. So I made a decision to have the audacity to do it anyway. Step out of the shadows of what if and into the light of why not. And let me tell you, it's been one hell of a journey. I will break down the steps I took along the way. Chapter 1. The courage to defy doubt. Doubt. It's that little voice in your head that whispers, "You're not good enough. You'll fail. What will people think?" I used to let that voice run the show, letting it dictate my every move. But here's what I've learned. Doubt is just a bully. And like all bullies, it crumbles when you stand up to it. I remember the day I decided to start my own business. The doubt was deafening. It screamed at me, telling me I was crazy to leave my stable job, that I didn't have what it takes. But I looked that doubt square in the eye and said, "Watch me." Was it easy? Hell no. There were nights I lay awake, wondering if I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. But with each small victory, each problem solved, each client gained, that voice of doubt grew a little quieter. And you know what? The moments of greatest growth came not when everything was smooth sailing, but when I was navigating the stormy seas of uncertainty. It was in those moments that I discovered strengths I never knew I had. Chapter 2. Silencing the critics. Of course, it wasn't just my own doubts I had to contend with. The world is full of critics, always ready with a helpful opinion about why you shouldn't, couldn't, or won't succeed. They're like seagulls at a beach picnic, swooping in to steal your joy and leave a mess behind. I remember when I shared my plans to travel the world while running my business remotely. The critics came out in force. "That's irresponsible," they said. "You'll never make it work," they warned. But here's the thing about critics, they're often just projecting their own fears and limitations onto you. So, I packed my bags, booked my tickets, and set off on an adventure that would change my life forever. Was it challenging? Absolutely. Did I make mistakes? You bet. But with each new country, each new culture, I was expanding not just my worldview, but my understanding of what I was capable of. And you know what happened to those critics? Some of them became my biggest cheerleaders, inspired by what they saw as courage. Others faded into the background, their voices drowned out by the sound of my own success. Chapter 3. Permission to be imperfect. Here's a secret that took me far too long to learn. Perfection is a myth. It's a mirage in the desert of achievement, always shimmering on the horizon but never quite within reach. And chasing it will leave you parched and exhausted. I used to agonize over every detail, every decision, paralyzed by the fear of getting it wrong. But then I realized something. Imperfection is where the magic happens. It's in the messy middle, the rough drafts, the failed attempts that we truly learn and grow. Take my first public speaking engagement, for example. I prepared for weeks, rehearsing every word, every gesture. And you know what? It was a disaster. I stumbled over my words, forgot entire sections, and left the stage feeling like a complete failure. But here's the twist. It was the best thing that could have happened to me. Because in that moment of imperfection, I learned more about public speaking than I ever could have from a flawless performance. I learned how to recover from mistakes, how to connect with an audience through vulnerability, and most importantly, how to laugh at myself. Now, when I step on stage, I don't aim for perfection. I aim for authenticity, for connection, for impact. And ironically, it's in embracing my imperfections that I've become a far more effective speaker. Chapter 4. Taking the first step. You know that feeling when you're standing at the edge of a high dive, looking down at the water below? Your heart's racing, your palms are sweaty, and every instinct is screaming at you to back away. That's exactly how it feels to take that first step towards your dreams. For me, that high dive was quitting my job to start my own business. I stood at the edge for months, making excuses, finding reasons to delay. I'll do it when I have more savings, I told myself. I'll do it when the market's better. I'll do it when I feel more ready. But here's the truth, you'll never feel completely ready. There will always be another excuse, another reason to wait. The secret is to take that step anyway. So one day, with my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst out of my chest, I walked into my boss's office and handed in my resignation. And you know what? The moment I took that step, the moment I committed to my dream, it was like the universe conspired to help me. Opportunities started appearing out of nowhere. People I'd never met were suddenly offering advice and support. It wasn't easy. There were plenty of sleepless nights and ramen dinners, but each day brought new challenges and new victories. And with each small step, each tiny win, my confidence grew. I realized that the hardest step isn't the second, or the third, or even the 100th. It's always the first. But once you take it, you'll wonder why you ever hesitated in the first place. Chapter 5. Resilience in the face of setbacks. If there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's that setbacks are not just inevitable, they're essential. They're the universe's way of testing your resolve, of asking, how badly do you want this? I remember the day I lost my biggest client. It felt like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. All the doubts I thought I'd silenced came rushing back, louder than ever. For a moment I considered giving up, crawling back to the safety of a 9-to-5 job. But then I remembered why I started this journey in the first place. I remembered the fire in my belly, the vision of the life I wanted to create. And I realized that this setback was not the end. It was an opportunity for a new beginning. So I got to work. I reached out to old contacts, pitched new clients, and poured my heart into every project. And you know what? Within a month, I had not just replaced that big client, but signed 2 more. That experience taught me a valuable lesson. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how quickly you can pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in the game. It's about seeing setbacks not as roadblocks, but as detours on the path to success. Chapter 6. Owning your power. Here's a truth that took me far too long to realize. You are far more powerful than you think. We all are. But too often we give our power away, to our fears, to other people's opinions, to the limitations we place on ourselves. I used to be a master at this. I'd downplay my achievements, attribute my successes to luck, and let others take credit for my ideas. I was like a lamp with a dimmer switch, always turning down my own light to make others feel more comfortable. But then I had a revelation. I realized that by dimming my own light, I wasn't just shortchanging myself, I was robbing the world of what I had to offer. And that's when I decided to own my power. It started small, speaking up in meetings, sharing my ideas without apology, celebrating my wins, big and small. And you know what? The world didn't end. In fact, it opened up in ways I never imagined. Opportunities started flowing my way. People began to seek out my opinion, to value my expertise. And most importantly, I started to value myself. Owning your power doesn't mean being arrogant or stepping on others. It means recognizing your worth, embracing your strengths, and using them to make a positive impact on the world. Chapter 7. Living a life without regrets. Imagine yourself at the end of your life, looking back on the years gone by. What do you see? A life filled with what-ifs and if-onlys? Or a life rich with experiences, challenges overcome, and dreams pursued? I made a promise to myself that when I reach that point, I want to look back with a smile, knowing that I had the courage to chase my dreams, to face my fears, to live life on my own terms. Does that mean every day is perfect? Far from it. There are still moments of doubt, of fear, of wondering if I'm on the right path. But now, instead of letting those moments paralyze me, I use them as fuel. Because I know that the only true failure is not trying at all. So my friend, I ask you, what's holding you back? What dream have you been putting off? What step have you been afraid to take? Remember, the clock is ticking. Every moment you spend hesitating is a moment you can never get back. And trust me, the joy of pursuing your dreams far outweighs the comfort of playing it safe. Chapter 8. The power of audacity. Audacity. It's a word that used to make me uncomfortable. It felt brash, almost arrogant. But now I wear it like a badge of honor. Because having the audacity to do it anyway isn't about being reckless or foolhardy. It's about having the courage to believe in yourself when no one else does. It's about taking that leap of faith, even when you can't see the landing. It's about looking fear in the eye and saying, I see you, but I'm not letting you stop me. I've learned that audacity is contagious. When you start living with audacity, you inspire others to do the same. You create a ripple effect of courage and possibility that can change not just your life, but the lives of those around you. So, I challenge you. Have the audacity to dream big. Have the audacity to believe in yourself. Have the audacity to take that first step, no matter how small it might seem. Because here's the truth. The life you want, the success you dream of, the impact you long to make, it's all waiting for you. All you need is the audacity to reach out and grab it. As I sit here, reflecting on this journey of audacity, I'm filled with a sense of excitement for what's to come. Because the beautiful thing about embracing audacity is that the journey never really ends. There's always a new challenge to face, a new mountain to climb, a new dream to chase. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. Remember, the world is waiting for what only you can bring. Your unique voice, your special talents, your one-of-a-kind perspective, these are gifts that only you can share. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt keep you small. Don't let the opinions of others drown out the whispers of your own heart. Have the audacity to be you, unapologetically, authentically, gloriously you. Because when you do, when you have the courage to step into your own light, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start living a life beyond your wildest dreams. So, what are you waiting for? The time is now. Your moment is here. Have the audacity to seize it.